Emeritus Nobis, Blumen, UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call, UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise, Emeritus Nobis, Blumen, UCC, UCC, we are the kindest of them all, UCC, UCC, we are the bedrock of our knowledge. Being proud of this, we students and workers in concert shall work, that your image may be heightened. UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call. UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise. Emeritus Nobis, Blumen, UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call. UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise. Emeritus Nobis, Blumen, UCC, UCC, we are the kindest of them all. UCC, UCC, we are the brainchild of Nkrumah. We train, we mold, and live by his vision to impart our virtues, that Ghana may be strengthened. UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call. UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise. Emeritus Nobis, Blumen, UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call. UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise. Emeritus Nobis, Blumen.
Thank you very much. Kindly resume your seats. Now in time for us to listen to our chairman's response and his welcome address. Shall we welcome Professor Johnson Nyakubuampong to the podium?
Thank you for the introduction, and I hope with your support we'll have a successful ceremony. Thank you. I would like to give the welcome address. The representative of the Honorable Minister of Education and Special Guest of Honor, the representative of Professor Ishak Oleyede, Registrar of the Joint Admission Board, Nigeria, and our keynote speaker, Professor Rosemond Aboajua-Bohin, the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Mr. Jephthah Emmanuel Nyame, Registrar of the University of Cape Coast, Vice-Chancellors of sister universities present, and Pro-Vice Chancellors of sister universities present, Professor Ahmed Napo Ebulai, Acting Director of Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, JTEC, who is also the representative of the Minister, the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities. I think we have the representative here. Then the Secretary General and members of Executive Committee of Association of West African Universities, national executives of the National Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education in Ghana, distinguished academics and researchers, our friends in the media, staff and students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. On behalf of the management and staff of the University of Cape Coast, it is my pleasure this morning to welcome you all to the beautiful campus of the university. For those of you who are visiting our campus for the first time, we extend to you our usual Ghanaian hospitality. I say Akwaba to you all. It is my prayer and hope that you enjoy your stay for the short period that you are with us. This morning, we are gathered here as academics and critical stakeholders within the tertiary education landscape to reflect on some key thematic issues to dialogue on the best practices and approaches to achieving quality education. Ladies and gentlemen, a great deal of recent scholarship has shown how higher education is critical to the development of a country. Sadly, however, some of these studies have also been quick to point out how the quality of teaching at a higher education level in most countries is on the decline. As a result, therefore, the call for improved quality higher education continues to be a priority globally to both government and all stakeholders within the education space. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, some compelling studies have shown that the term quality in education is a highly contested construct, and its scholarly permutations have engaged the attention of key stakeholders in education across time and space. As some scholars have shown, efforts to engage with quality are equally fraught with difficulties, not least of which is a consideration of what quality actually represents. Equally problematic, these scholars have pointed out, are efforts to effectively achieve, improve, and measure quality. While I do not intend to wade into any debate surrounding this term, I will attempt to provide some reflections on what we can do to achieve quality that we all yearn for. It is for this reason that some scholars have argued that the quality of education is largely reflected in terms of the extent to which and how the aims and functions of education are achieved. These scholars have suggested, therefore, that aims are the anticipated effects of learning, and functions refer to what key stakeholders within education landscape are expected to accomplish. The notion of quality as a conceptual category within the education discourse is therefore relative. Its meaning and permutation change over time and differ geographically due to variations of aims, function, and the means to realize them. In this regard, the quality of education is linked to the people and how they perceive education. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, what is becoming increasingly clear is the fact that with globalization, higher education institutions that are key knowledge producers would have to conceptualize quality education from dynamic perspectives to project relevance of education to national aspirations and global trends, and re-evaluate how quality can be achieved. It is in this regard that the current trends within education globally are beginning to emphasize 21st century skills such as critical thinking, innovation, and problem solving, leadership and presentation skills, and the use of information technology as critical components of the 21st century dialogue. These skills, many stakeholders believe, will not only discourage root learning in our institutions of learning, but will also enable our students to be globally competitive. Ladies and gentlemen, to make progress in the quest to achieve quality within tertiary education landscape, collaboration and strategic partnerships are not only imperative, but crucial in a fast-paced world. Education is both a shared responsibility and a collaborative enterprise. The world has become a global village. With the increasing globalization, no individual or institution can not only making higher institutions of learning visible, but in some cases have led to significant financial and infrastructure interventions. What is even more pertinent within our specifically, given that Africa must begin to take its destiny into its own hands and move away from the dependencies we in Africa must develop our frameworks towards the realization of our collective aims, particularly higher education. All of these ideas remain elusive if we do not embrace technology-driven age. And the recent COVID-19 global pandemic taught us a very useful lesson about how technology in the world of work. Knowledge of which technology to use not only has the potential to improve the quality of tertiary education, but also important to lecturers, researchers, instructional leaders to make informed choices to bring about the required change to teaching, research, and community services. While governments in West Africa continue to broaden access to education at all levels, we all must strive to continue to improve the environment within which teaching and learning occurs. The case of Ghana is particularly worth mentioning because of the government-free senior high school policy. This policy initiative, since its inception, has broadened access to senior high school education across the regions of Ghana and has provided opportunities for many who would have been staying at home. When we broaden access, it is important to pay attention to content, what we teach and how we teach it. Continuous professional learning is key to improving quality at all levels. The teachers and lecturers are critical in the development of appropriate content and its delivery. Higher institutions in West Africa must be intentional, therefore, that we keep improving our content to remain relevant in an ever-changing and competitive global space. The outcome of our conference holds immense potential for transformative change in the region. The outcomes should catalyze tangible and sustainable changes to technology integration for educational transformation. We have to embrace the technological advancements discussed during the conference to transform educational practices. 3, institutional governance reforms. We have to utilize the insights gained from discussion on regional integration, peace and security, as well as good governance in tertiary institutions to enact institutional reforms. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many things we need to do together to ensure that we are fully integrated and we would be able to advance education in the tertiary space for the advancement of West Africa. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for that insightful speech. I trust that we have identified major points in what our chairperson has presented to us. They are food for thoughts, and we need to go through them and see how we can expand them in our various discussions. Once again, chairperson, we are grateful. Time for us to take or listen to brief comments by GTEC, and the Acting Director General is here. Professor, please, you're welcome to the podium.
The chairman of the Association of West African Universities, members of the executive committee here present, the general secretary of the Association of West African Universities, vice-chancellors gathered here, the executive secretary of vice-chancellors Ghana, pro-vice-chancellors, registrars, deans, directors, heads of departments, principals of colleges of education, faculty, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends from the media, good morning. Why the morning is not good? Good morning. Good morning. Those from outside Ghana, haven't you seen how beautiful Cape Coast is? So I'm supposed to give a brief speech on behalf of the minister, GTEC, and the Association of African Universities, AAU. I'll try as much as possible to make it brief. So one person, I'm supposed to give speeches for all the three. On behalf of the governing board of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, the Ministry of Education, the Association of African Universities, I wish to commend and congratulate the management and staff of University of Cape Coast, especially the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Johnson Nyako Bwampong, for the honor of hosting this all in the West African sub-region. The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission is extremely grateful and feel privileged to be part of this all-important celebration. Mr. Chairman, some 13 years ago, as we may recall, at Ilorin, Nigeria, under the chairmanship of the then Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Universities Commission, Professor Julius Okoji, with some vice-chancellors and principals of universities in West Africa, as happening here today, deliberated on how collaboration could be used as a tool of making education functional and productive to the citizenry of their respective countries. Today, our interest as evidence in the theme for this year's conference transcends the then identified gap, lack of collaboration, to how collaboration, regional integration, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, technology within this as a requirement in tertiary educational delivery is not just a need, but a necessity. And achieving that through collaboration, integration, and technology means, a technological means, is one that GTEC has always encouraged and will continue to advance in its engagement with players within the tertiary educational delivery landscape. We believe that the foundational threshold for quality within the tertiary educational regulatory space is whether an institution or program qualifies for a certain status represented as accreditation. Accreditation, undoubtedly, ladies and gentlemen, is a basic requirement for quality assurance, one that guarantees adherence to the tenets, norms, and standards of practice. As a commission, we are very and technology can be properly situated within the spectrum of quality tertiary educational delivery when the minimum operational standard for delivery is in place. I am confident that this conference, important as it may be, will not only unearth some useful ideas in the attainment of the guiding team, but one that will position the West African sub-region as the most attractive destination for tertiary educational delivery. Mr. Chairman, our vision and aspiration, being the current leadership of GTEC, is to position tertiary educational delivery in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are convinced that it is attainable, provided we put in place the necessary required infrastructure. After all, Ghana has enjoyed some relative peace and stability over the past decades, registered some enviable democratic record, exhibited adequate energy supply, and has proven to be a preferred destination for foreign settlement. It is our hope that, limited as this infrastructure may be, this can be put to proper use in the tertiary educational delivery enterprise. Mr. Chairman, whilst I speak to this subject, it will interest you to note that Ghana has some 310 tertiary education institutions in the database of GTEC. Of these, 120 of GTEC 1023, all private tertiary institutions must charter or demonstrate evidence of processes towards the attainment of same by August 31st, 2024, before the state tertiary educational delivery sector required of charter to take this exercise seriously, since non-adherent institutions will be forced to close upon expiration of the window of application as captured in the law. Promoting tertiary education in West Africa undoubtedly requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders. And clearly, what is happening here today cannot be but an excellent addition in the realization of this important objective. Hence, we at GTEC believe that the team chosen today, hinged on collaboration, will not be just an event truncated at the end of this conference, but one that continues post this gathering. Once again, the GTEC, as well as the Ministry of Education, wishes you the best of luck in this important endeavor and prays that this conference becomes a successful one. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much of our Minister of Education. We heard Professor Jinapo. Shall we do it for him? It's now time for us to listen to another brief comment from the Executive Secretary of AAU, that is our own Professor Frederick Atuama. Shall we welcome Professor Ama?
Hello, good morning. It's a pleasure to be home. Prof. Chair, please kindly permit me to stand on the protocol that has already been established. And I'm glad that our neighbor, Professor Jinapo, was holding the fort for us, but I will speak briefly. Thank you so much. That is good neighborliness. So I've been asked by the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, Professor Olushola Bandele Oyewole, to represent him at this all-important meeting. He's airborne on the way from the UK to Ghana. I bring you warm felicitations from the AAU family, and the AAU, we know, is the voice of higher education in Africa. And this organization has a lot of seamless overlap when it comes to what we were set up to do and what the Association of West African Universities was also set up to do. We are supposed to promote interchange, contact, and cooperation among universities and other institutions of higher education on the continent. We are also supposed to collect and disseminate information on higher education and research, particularly on the African continent. We are supposed to promote cooperation among African higher education institutions in terms of curriculum development, postgraduate training, research, quality and quality assurance, recognition of qualifications, and the determination. We're also supposed to empower and encourage members to address developmental challenges and become effective voice in national, regional, and global higher education discourse. All of these activities that I've mentioned entirely are activities that the Association of West African Universities also focused on doing, but within the sub-region of West Africa. All of these activities also resonate with the conference theme, that is promoting quality tertiary education in West Africa through collaboration, regional integration, and technology. Ladies and gentlemen, Today definitely is the beginning of the 3-day activities intended to earmark the 9th annual conference and 11th annual general meeting of the Association of West African Universities. The AAU is here to lend its support and to fraternize with the Association of West African Universities as we collectively strive to meet the developmental agenda of West Africa in particular and Africa as a whole. Universities in the 21st century are evolving toward a more complete outlook, structure, and operation. And the higher education landscape in Africa is undergoing tremendous transformation. As a result of this evolution, university leaders must be flexible, must be able to forge connections, exert influence, persuade and manage agreement, critical thinking, sound judgment, and a long-term outlook and understanding of technology are definitely needed in this particular regard. This conference is a vehicle for AWAU to enhance its role as a convening power of scientific and thematic research, a credible voice of science advice in the sub-region, and a networking strength for fostering collective action towards West Africa's shared prosperity in science, technology, and innovation. Now, if this is an association of West African universities, we know that West Africa has linguistic blocks. So we have the Anglophone and then the Francophone. It means that AWAU must create opportunities for a broad-based participation of its activities. It shouldn't be limited only to the Anglophone countries. And this is also in consonance with linguistic plurality. And I also join researchers today who are hearing guided to focus on the African Charter on Transformative Research Collaborations, that document, to look at what the continent has set out as priorities for researchers in academia and researchers represented at this meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a fruitful deliberation, and I thank you all for your attention.
Prof. Amma, we are very much grateful for your address from AAU. Next on the agenda or the item is the keynote address. But before our keynote speaker speaks, someone has to introduce him. And before, young men and women have to sing to us. And with that, I invite GMG to provide us a short interlude before the keynote speaker is introduced. Shall we welcome Mercy and his friend?
Prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hopeful song we'd barely understood. Now we're not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. Then be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to keep. Who knows knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will when you believe.
We do it better for them. Time for me to introduce Dr. All right, our brothers and sisters in the Franco
Admissions and Matriculation Board, a former Vice-Chancellor, University of Ilorin, former President, Association of African Universities, and former Chairman, Committee of Vice-Chancellors, and at the University of Ilorin from 2007 to 2012, and GAMB from it. He has demonstrated what academics, if given the opportunity, can do in improving the lot of the nation. An appreciative Nigerian nation has bestowed many high-profile honors and awards on our speaker. They include Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic in the year 2014, National Productivity Order of Merit in the year 2019, National Productivity Order of Merit in the year 2019, and Commander of the Order of the Niger 2022. He is also a recipient of numerous special awards from diverse major interest groups and institutions across all strata of the society. He has to his credit more than 100 publications in reputable outlets across the globe. He is a married man, blessed with 4 adult children and 11 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Professor Ishaq Oloyede.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am Professor Oloyede. Good morning. The distinguished Chairman and Vice-Chancellor of this university, the Honorable Minister of Education, distinguished members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Professor Ishaq Oloyede, CON, FNAL, NIM, registrar, joined at the, and the presentation is entitled Promoting Quality Integration and Technology and Expanding Front. To address the 9th Annual Conference of the Association of West African Universities, AWAU, on this special occasion of the year 2024 conference, I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to the chairman for this great honor. This year's conference is taking place at a time of major ruptures politically in West Africa and amidst other great strides and developments in university education, science, and technology in the sub-region. It is my belief that the knowledge derived from our gathering here shall contribute to finding solutions to the intractable problems of underdevelopment, poverty, unemployment, and misgovernance assailing the sub-region. We shall do so through the mantra of quality education, collaboration, regional integration, and technology. This should advance for us mutual reinforcement of values designed to benefit from the changing trends in higher education globally. At this juncture, may I pay homage to the founding fathers of AWAU and all men and women of goodwill who have contributed to the growth of this body.